Alright, we are live for Cone Division 4 here, round 9 in Jeddah. And I just found something out. I'm just gonna check that the sound is working. Alright then, so sound is working. Alright, I'm just gonna quickly... Y'all just chill for a bit. I'm just gonna add someone, my co-commentator for today. Hopefully it's the right one. I'm not sure. Oh, there we are. Hello, Mr. BT. Welcome to the commentator's booth.
Hello, sir. I am not in the lobby at the minute, so if I could get an invite, that would be much appreciated.
Yes, I will
I've got one
invite you.
from CRC IV, that is brilliant.
Okay, alright. I'll send you one as well, just in case. Yeah, so while we wait for you to get into the lobby, we are riding along with CRL Xenon, which I have been told he is the favorite for the victory today, so do you have any predictions?
Well, I have to see who's racing, but I do know, having seen, of course, so it's Jeddah, so it's a very wheel-inclined track. So those guys who are on the wheel, such as Indian Jesus, Farrell, I believe, I'm not sure who else, I think Bailiff might be as well, but I can't guarantee, but yeah, anyone on the wheel should be at the advantage today. But of course, there are a lot of varying skills in this division. So I guess we'll have to see. I guess our first indication will be with the banker quality times.
You are correct there. Let's ride along then with Xenon. I'll try to commentate this lap. I haven't commentated for a bit, but we'll see. So we're coming now. We got a brake as the curb starts. Use all on the curb on the right and on the left. I took that wrong position. This is all the track on the outside here. Now coming here, wanna brake just before the 50. He misses the corner and he also invalidates. Not a good start for Xenon. But I think
The next one on the lap is Chugs, right?
yeah,
Oh,
I think so as well.
Yeah. Sorry, it was telling me that Zenon was on an outlap for some reason. So I think I might be a bit out of sync with you.
Well, maybe it'll sort itself out. Yeah, so Chug's not having the best of Sector 1s, I should say there. Really missing apexes and going wide. He is on the medium tire though, so maybe his setup is more oriented to the soft tire.
Yeah, no, I mean it looks, it's especially at the start of quali when the grip is at a minimum at such a such a high grip track. Got on the medium tyres, it's always going to be a bit of a recipe for disaster as such. It's always going to be a little bit hard to find a rhythm, but I'm sure Shugs will have more to show us as the session goes on for sure. As he's just coming up to Zen and his teammate, who opts not to give him a toe and instead pulls over to the right.
Not giving his teammate slipstream, that's kinda bad teammating if you're asking me. Let's see now, what can Chugs give us as a banker now? Our first time on the board will be it's a 130.6 on the medium, so and he gets instantly beaten by Shaden, and then Indian Jesus tops that by 2 seconds.
Wow.
That's
that's very fast indeed.
It's a quick banker for a
yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so I think the Haas, yes, the Haas was next to cross the line, and that's a 130.4, so not too far ahead of Chugs on the mediums and as was on the. All right, yeah. No. We got some.
I'm gonna say it now. I think Indian Jesus has already set pole.
Really?
That's a very impressive.
I think you
Honestly,
jinxed him by
as
saying
a banker
that.
time, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's gonna go flying into the barrier on his inlet. Who knows? But as Mar, his teammate, gets, he's about 1.6 seconds off him, with a pretty respectable time still at 29.5. But at 27.9, for tier 4. Even anyway, it's a pretty respectable lap among some very good drivers. So yeah, that is very impressive from him. But we look now to see if anyone can challenge him. I'm sure there will be many who want to.
I wanna check. Yeah, I think Xenon is the next to cross the line now. So we'll see what he can do for us.
Looks like he's going to go at least P2 here.
And you were correct there. 9
on
tenths
tyres
behind.
as well.
Yeah, but it is old tires, as you said, so he has some pace. He has some mechanical grip on fresher softs. He has some more you can extract from there. Let's see now. Krogo, I believe, is the next one.
Yep.
Adam, I have commentated over Krogo in ISRL, and he has some good pace to him, so maybe he can challenge for the top. I'm not quite sure. Well, let's see. And that's P9, a respectable time from Krogo. And oh, my screen is gonna shut off if I don't press any button. Let's go. Fix that. Bailiff has invalidated, I think, free fall now. Has also aborted his lap. So help me out here, bro. Where do I spectate?
I think we've got. I think that's Zenon. Has he got another lap? It looks like the time is competitive. I think he is actually going for another lap here, and he is going to improve to a 128.3. You know what?
Wow.
He was derating, and he's on 3-lap old tyres. I think maybe my shout of Indian Jesus might have been a little bit too soon, and Zenon seems to be finding some real pace. Good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indian Jesus still at the top by 4 tenths, so Zenon still needs to find some more time. He needs to also get on some new tyres. He's going to have to trundle around the rest of the lap in low fuel mode, which is going to be great for him.
Yeah, and I did say that you might have jinxed Indian Jesus there. So we have to wait to see till the end, but maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Now, I'm running
Bailiff's
a...
on the lap right now.
Who?
Bailiff, but go ahead, mate.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was spectating F1 Lucky, and he, I believe, is the next one to set a lap time. So, and he's on fresh softs, so I don't know much about this driver. I don't know anything at all but his name, so he might surprise us here, hopefully. I'd like a good surprise.
I think he's actually, as he goes into P11, he's also in low fuel mode, so it indicates he might have actually gone for more runs than the game is letting on for. I'm looking at the standings. He doesn't seem to be on there, which indicates that he's a reserve.
Okay.
I think other reserve drivers might include, I think Ghost Angel 1 just below him in the Aston Martin in P12 is also a reserve. I think the Topher in P18 in the McLaren, who hasn't yet set a lap of course, I think he might be a reserve as well. So yeah, I think some new faces in the tier for today for certain.
Did you catch free fall going up to P3 there?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, Scott. Good lap from him, yeah. Of course, I mean the front two really do seem to be. As Bailiff just usurps him, goes into P3 with a 28.6. I think those are 3-lap old tyres. So like Zenon, he's operating on very low grip, and he's certainly going to have some time to find if he gets on a new set as soon as possible. Yeah, good laps from Freefall and Bailiff for sure.
Alright, so I'm gonna ride along with Alfa Romeo of Chugs. Zenon did 3 laps, flying laps I should say, and one in lap and one out lap. So I don't know how much pace he has from the tires and the fuel level left.
Sorry to interrupt there. I think, yeah, Wuban has gone. I was trying to get a view from Indian Jesus. He's gone into the wall, just off the exit of.
Oh,
I'm really sorry. I don't know the turn numbers here, but the fast left-right chicane. I think he's gone into the wall off the exit of that. So
yeah.
Wuban is out of the session. 3 drivers now.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, this track has. Oh, Chugs moves up to P4. I didn't mention. Well, this track has a lot of walls, and you have to have that control of your car. Yeah, gotta have that setup that hooks it up. And if you don't, you will end up in the wall.
Let's have a look at Indian Jesus now on his lap. If you want to run on board with him, I can try and take you for a lap of Jeddah as he sweeps through the smooth first sector. Keeps it in 6th gear. Actually, he taps the wall a little bit, although I think it was fairly minor, so I don't know if he'll have too much damage from that. And he sets a 30.5 first sector. He is 3/10 up already on that already excellent time.
Wow.
Sweeping through now, short shifting into 4th, struggling on the traction, but he gets his foot down, avoiding the wall. Rides on the inside and then to the outside, sweeps through, just about misses the apex, but it's decent. He rides on the inside curb there, and now he's got a bit of a straight to go before he goes into the next complex. We're about to see his second sector time. Let's see what he is about right now. It is a 1:57.9. He is 3.5 tenths up as Indian Jesus. Let's see if he has any more time to find. Goes out in 6th gear, flying through. Now Topher's very close to him, and he just about swoops past as Indian Jesus. And now he should have no more traffic. It's just the obstacle, this final corner, proves so taxing for Max Verstappen in real life as he sweeps through on 3rd. Really lovely apex there, and Indian Jesus has absolutely nailed this, I would say. Comes across the line, it's a 1:27.5. Wow.
To be honest,
That's
it looked like a Division 2 lap.
Honestly. That was brilliant.
What is this guy doing here?
I mean, I know, so Indian Jesus, he was a pad driver in Tier 1 last season actually, and he switched over to the wheel for the season. So initially he was Tier 4, and now he's found so much pace. But yeah, that is a fantastic lap from the German driver for sure.
Fantastic indeed. And now the other Ferrari is on its way to set a lap time. So I'm gonna
interrupt you there. Topher has crashed as well, so that's the 4th driver retired. So yeah, wow, the rules of Jeddah proving difficult for Division 4 here for certain. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, that's a shame that we have so many retirements in qualifying. We still have a race to go. Mar 14 has abandoned his lap. Krago, P11 on his lap.
Just one position, yeah. So he gets to P11, of course, which is a great spot for the alternate strategy here. I believe the strategy in Jeddah is a simple, medium, soft. Although we may see variations, of course, with the odd safety car not too rare here. As Chugs has left the session, don't worry about that. I'll try to invite him back now.
Yes, good. Yeah, not looking too promising to have 4 retirements already. Hopefully these drivers can keep it on the track.
Of course, I mean, I'd criticise them, but I already know that I would be straight in the wall by about 3 minutes into the session at Jeddah, so I really can't blame the guys.
Yeah, neither can I.
Got laps on the wall as well, which is really impressive, as I've been just about to Chugs back, so hopefully he can get back into the session without any problems.
Yes, Ghost Angel 01, Ghost Angel 1, alright, no spaces between his names, so I can't see. 131 free there, P13. Looking like majority of the field are in the 130s, and then we have some 29s, and then 28s, and then we have Indian Jesus in his league in his own.
Yeah, that's amazing. 034 is actually coming through the just done this first sector. He's done a 31.1, which isn't too bad. Indian Jesus is that confident. He's already retired from the session, and I believe that was in the pits. Oh, with CRL free fall absolutely whacked into the ruler. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're looking at right now.
Yeah, no, I am with freefall, so don't worry. As soon as you said his name, I switched over. And he goes
damage.
wide. Yeah,
Yeah, he would have got a bit of wing damage on his right end plate there.
yeah. For me at least on my screen, it doesn't have any visible wing damage, but maybe it's very light. But we all know that even light wing damage affects the car so much. So let's see now. I wanna.
Reverend Melvin's on a lap. He's the only driver still in the session who hasn't set a lap, so this is pretty crucial for him. As the Maverick retires, is that in the pits as well? I think so.
Yeah.
Can't see another AlphaTauri out on track as Melvin comes through the second sector now. And he is on a 59.8. So that's about 2 seconds down on Indian Jesus' time, but of course so is most of the grid. So let's see what he can conjure up in the final sector here. Decent through there. It seems fairly cautious, but of course when you haven't set a lap on a board with this little this lack of time in the session, you're always going to have to be very careful. And yeah, again a bit cautious through there, but he comes out the right side, and Reverend Melvin is going to cross the line, and he's going to go into P10 with a 130.1, so a very respectable lap time from the AlphaTauri driver.
Almost strategy P1, so
Yep.
very respectable there. I also during that lap, Ash moved up some positions into P7, 29.7. I have no idea. Let's see. No, both has this. Oh yeah, bailiff. That's no. Isn't it that? Oh, it is in a lap. Yeah. Yeah, I also caught that tapping of the wall. I don't think he got damage from that. But we'll see now.
It was lighter than that CRL free fall. I think he's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking that very well, I have to say.
Hitting those.
A little bit of a lift there, I think.
Oh, I didn't check. I just admired the lap. Taking these fast corners.
Done very well, it has to be said. I think he's definitely going to go up ahead of Zen. Is he going to break into the 27s? No, it's a 28.2, which is still a very respectable lap from Bailiff, and that will be his last contribution in the session, if my timer is correct, of course. I've got 108.
Got 1 minute.
Zenon's on a lap now, so I reckon
and he has invalidated, unfortunately.
Of course, but he's about to start a new one. Yeah. So I'll let you take us round then.
Alright then, Zenon braking as the curb starts, hitting the left apex, missing the right apex, still gets a good exit, that's the correct word. Coming now, 50 meter board, you got and he invalidates.
Invalidates, yeah.
Felt like he didn't turn the wheel.
Yeah, there wasn't much confidence coming through there. He took it in third gear, which is very rare. You can usually see that corner being taken in fourth or fifth. So yeah, and then he kind of just didn't really have the speed to carry through, and yeah, understeered off the track.
Yeah, well, that is for me. That's pole position shootout over now. Indian Jesus pretty much has it. But there's still plenty of drivers on a lap. I think the Haas is the next one. Oh no, Ice Scott Gay puts it in P11.
It'll be Krago, I think, who's about 10.5 up on his time.
Oh.
See, I think it looks like he's going to get into P11 right now. Oh, but no, he lost time in that last sector.
It's a shame.
So he stays in P12.
And free fall. The pits, alright. Now, Mar 14, still on a good lap. And he's running out of fuel, it says. I should turn off the telemetry. It doesn't look nice. Anyway, he has 0.4 laps of fuel left, and that's P4 for him. Very good time. Hello, Jacob. I'm not sure how many viewers Division 4 usually gets, but we have 17 viewers right now. I think that's very high.
Very good going, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the only driver on a lap is Ghost Angel 1. Coming now to the final corner, he wanna... Oh, he brake way too late there.
Wow, yeah. It's
I
already
was...
3/10 down, and that's not going to help him.
Yeah, I think that's... I think it's gonna improve. It does not improve, so that's... qualifying over. Wow, Indian
that is
Jesus. That's...
wow.
Maybe he needs to get promoted.
I think it's quite difficult to promote drivers at this fairly late stage, mid stage of the season. Of course, the drivers. I may remind everyone that this is the last race before a week break for Tier 3 and Tier 4, and actually a 2-week break for Tiers 1 and 2. So, of course, the admins may have time to reassess, but take nothing away from the lap. It was absolutely brilliant by 7.4 tenths from his nearest rival, Bailiff. Indian Jesus in the Ferrari, and he's looking like he's going to be dominant, but of course anything can happen in the race. This is Tier 4 after all, this is Cone Racing League after all, so we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yes. I also have to apologize to everyone for streaming in performance mode. The graphics don't look as crisp as I would like them to. But other than that, let's go through the grid order then. Indian Jesus dominating 27.5, Bailiff P2, Xenon P3, Mar 14, P4, Chugs P5, Freefall P6, Reverend P7, Ash P8, Shaden P9, Much Harvey or MUFC Harvey 10, P10, running at the top 10 there. I Scott Gay, P11, Krago, P12, The Maverick, P13, Ghost Angel 1, P14, F1 Lucky, P15, Greg's Game Center, P16, and like some retirements under there, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been Wuban, Top Klar, Farrah Fury, and one other, and Weekami, of course. Weekami in the Williams, the mighty Williams team, hoping to get back some places. No, Kami's pretty aggressive driver, pretty good driver as well, so of course he's one to watch out for. I think many of the guys could potentially work their way up here though. Of course, Jeddah is an unpredictable track. I'm sure we're going to see more than a few retirements today.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Tier 1, I mean, the best drivers struggle with getting this track right.
Me. Yes.
Well, at least as we saw from a certain RLP's at Turn 1.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hopefully we won't see any drivers turning into the inside barrier, but of course we'll have to wait and see. It's easier said than done, believe me, to avoid that.
Yeah.
The countdown's on.
I thought it's not like Singapore when there's this corner where you want to turn in very early and got the inside curve, but you always hit the wall there. But it's still kinda almost the same. Well, someone has readied up 25 seconds ago, so I think you have to wait for longer than that, but I'm not sure.
Well, we don't have to snitch on them. But yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing is because of course Indian Jesus really did seem to have the dominant pace on qualifying. I mean, that was just an incredible lap.
Yes, it was.
So of course he needs to replicate that over 25 laps now, with drivers behind him, potential safety cars, throwing spanner in the works. So it's really a test of his consistency more than anything. And don't count out Bailiff and Zenon. Of course, we know Zenon, his lap was on three lap old tyres.
Ooh, he's gonna suffer.
And in the middle of quali as well, so he's definitely got a bit more pace to show than what he's already revealed. So, you know, the race is far from won already. As Indian Jesus is going out full pelt on the formation lap, already about a few hundred metres ahead of Bailiff. Well, doesn't want to kill his tyres.
Yeah, but I wonder if Zenon's time is on 3 lap old softs and he's starting on 3 lap old softs. Because that won't be so good for him. Well,
yeah, we're gonna have to see how his pace is, if he can really keep up. Yeah, the 3 laps, especially 3 qualifying laps around here, is not the best way to start. Of course, he's going to be struggling right from the off of traction, so have to wait and see if Zenon can try and compensate for that. as Indian Jesus is really backing up now. I feel like there might be a bit of trickery going on here. Going up full pelt and then slowing the rivals down. So
Yeah.
they lose heat in their tyres while he's already got enough heat from the earlier push. Have to wait and see, of course.
Alright, so I just checked the tires. We have everybody on softs except Greg's Game Center, Wuban, and Topper. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah. And there was also an Alfa Romeo who disqualified and is stuck on the grid now. Getting his tires colder than ice. We have 2 more cars. The Maverick and F1 Lucky as well.
Just have to say, Chugs isn't disqualified. He rejoined the lobby.
Oh,
He isn't
okay.
disqualified. He's just not driven. I think that might be a glitch.
Hopefully. Oh, there's even more drivers being disqualified. This is not looking good for the race. Oh no. Oh no, what's happening? Indian Jesus is pushing Chugs.
Chugs has gone flying.
For me, Indian Jesus is just pushing Chugs on the grid.
Yep. That looks very uncomfortable. But we'll have to see.
It's probably gonna be a lobby restart, but let's do this.
Lobby. I might message him and.
This is very interesting. I've never had this actually. Oh, now Chuck's car is driving away.
Oh, he's gonna do the formation lap.
Oh, well this means that all of their tires will be out. There goes Chuck's. I think this
really gonna have an effect. I mean, his car's still gonna have to do the formation lap. That's the thing.
So let's ride along with him then.
Yeah. So as he comes down into turn, whatever that is, in 3rd gear, taking it pretty cautiously, of course, trying to get some heat into the tyres, goes sweeping through the 1st sector in 4th gear, going to hit that apex lovely, as it's not actually him driving, the car gets all the way onto the inside, as close to the wall as possible, rides over the inside curb and then the outside, and that is a brilliant sector 1, past to the DRS board, of course no DRS board, as it is the formation lap, goes past 150-50, very tentative 2nd gear. That's the first time I've seen a driver select that gear in that corner, but of course this is a robot. Still not full throttle. Cho's taking it very easy as everyone else's tyres are freezing. Of course he's going to have much more traction off the start. Very interesting to see that. He avoids the wall. Oh, now he's teleported.
What's happening?
And I have a black screen.
Yeah, me as well.
And F1 Lucky is... Ooh.
This is interesting. Okay, we are a go now then. Lights out. Indian Jesus getting the worst of starts, then Bailiff side by side now for the lead. They're touching wheels, and that's Bailiff on the outside. Indian Jesus, they get a pretty equal exit, but Bailiff gets the move done and is in the lead. I imagine all their tires are freezing right now, and we will see some loose rear ends. I don't know, Matt.
That is. I'm not sure if we're going to see a restarted lobby. I mean, I saw Ash and Scott Gay were typing in the chat when the lights went out. Oh, and that is Topher and Ash. They have gone flying right at the back. I saw that. If you just want to look back, Topher's trying to do a full 360. He has no front wing. Ash has no right end plate. That is a struggle.
That is
I'm not sure if we're gonna.
I hope there's a lobby restart, because this is not the race we wanted. Or actually, it's the race the fans wanted, but not us.
Certainly not the race the marshals wanted. They'll be expecting a big pay rise after cleaning up the entirety of Tier 4's front wings.
And we have a lot of side-by-side moves in the lead here.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a freeway battle and it goes down inside and he almost takes out Indian Jesus.
Indian Jesus, very careful. Bailiff gets the lead. Indian Jesus had the DRS run through the corner. Now Zenon sneaked through as well. So it's 2 wide. Now Shaden getting in the way a little bit as the other 2 have deployed all their ERS. And now Indian Jesus, is he going to go on the inside? He's had a look at the inside of Shaden. And
that's way too deep.
It's a bit of a Max Verstappen-esque move, and Shaden holds around the outside, yeah.
So Indian Jesus clearly frustrated from this this horrific start. Well, in my opinion, we should restart lobby, but the drivers are going, they are going. Chugs also joined back, so hopefully that won't cause another glitch. We have...
Wow, Zenon and Shaden battling away. India Jesus did get the race on Shaden. And now we're going to see if these two guys can...
I don't have any intervals between the drivers.
I think maybe we'll get it after the sector, but I'm not 100% sure.
I hope so. Well, anyway, first 3-second time penalty of the race, 2 laps in. Well done, MUFC Harvey. Yeah, looked like bumper cars. I have to say, it wasn't pleasant. Now I, Scott Gay and Reverend Melvin switched positions, and now Reverend Melvin will have the slipstream, and the DRS is activated, I think, for both of them. No, now it's only I, Scott Gay. So will he go down the inside? No, he won't. He will stay cautious, which you should do at the beginning of a race, because the race is 25 laps. If you're faster, you will have the time to re-overtake. Yeah. And Xenon, no, never mind, nothing about Xenon, just in the train that they have created. Most importantly for Indian Jesus, Bailiff has not been able to pull away, so he still has a chance on the victory. Pharaoh Fury and F1 Lucky are switching positions. And that's F1 Lucky. Felt like braking.
He's gone straight into the wall. He's been caught by Scott. And he goes flying into the barrier, yeah.
Red Bull having the worst of weekends. What a shock. Bahrain. So...
Two disasters for Red Bull. Real life F1 and CRO Tier 4, and Farrell is trundling around with no ring. That is very unfortunate.
Xenon and Shaden switch positions. Indian Jesus is moving ahead of Bailiff.
Into the lead. Of course, he has the DRS, but now Bailiff is going to have the DRS down this back straight. Gets a slightly dodgy exit, but yes, Indian Jesus definitely accelerated away a little bit, but now Bailiff has got the DRS open, got the ERS on as well. He's definitely looking for a move. Indian Jesus is defending. He feels like he can get away. He wants to keep that lead. As they go into turn 1, Indian Jesus is comfortably ahead.
Yes, he is. So he used quite a bit of ERS there, so reasons why I could stay ahead. MUFC Harvey and Chugs side by side. So Chugs has fixed whatever issue he had, and we're now side by side at the beginning of sector 1 then. And MUFC Harvey round the outside uses the outside of the track, which in real life F1 is illegal, but he was ahead at that point, so the game doesn't detect it as an illegal overtake.
Yeah, no, it felt like Harvey was. I felt like Chugs had backed out, but he's certainly not backing out here. He goes down the inside, waiting to get on the throttle, and that is a very good move from Chugs on Harvey, taking back what he felt was an illegal overtake.
Shaden and Bailiff. Shaden, Bailiff and Xenon, I should say, they're all very bunched up now. And Bailiff was looking to make the move, but... Oh no, actually it was Shaden making the move on Bailiff. And now Xenon also gets involved. 3 wide! In the DRS zone, there's some touching and squeezing there. And now Bailiff and Shaden still side by side coming to the final corner. And that's Shaden still ahead of Bailiff. But Bailiff now will have the DRS on Shaden. And I think Shaden will lose out massively here, as Xenon also has the DRS. Let's see now, 3 wide coming into turn 1. Shaden is derating. Xenon and Bailiff both ahead. Or actually Xenon is side by side and now ahead of Shaden. So Shaden losing out big time. And we have also Mar 14 really close. So it's a really nice battle here for P2.
Oh, that was terrifying. I saw them going in, I saw Zen, and he got an absolute flyer of an exit off the final corner. And when Shaden crashes into the wall there, as I was just on ball with him in P4, I think he probably got some damage from that. Let's see if he's understeering into the next corner.
Xenon and Bailiff.
Not great for him. Oh, and Xenon and Bailiff, Xenon goes around the outside. CRL freefall is out of the race. And is that going to be a safety car?
I believe so. If not, it's kind
No,
of
it
rigged.
actually isn't. Oh, and Bailiff has understeered massively, and now Shaden is going to have a look at him. He's got the ERS on. He is absolutely breathing down his neck. Bailiff cannot fall out the DRS of Zenon here, because if he does, he's going to be entirely vulnerable to Shaden down that back straight. Looks like Bailiff is deploying where he can. He's got a lot of ERS to play with compared to his competitors, but he is outside a second. Did he get the DRS though? He did not, and now that's going to leave him vulnerable to Shaden for both these straights, unless Bailiff can get back in for the final corner. Guess we'll see. Shaden not able to get the move done this time.
Let's see
Throttle
now.
on early here, yeah. And Bailiff doesn't have DRS again. So now Zenon is flying away here. Shaden is going to look. Bailiff defending the inside. Shaden's going to go rounding outside here. Bailiff tries to challenge on the inside, but Shaden has got the move done and moved back into P3. Some brilliant racing between these front-running drivers.
We have some positions moving behind the field. We have Ghost Angel 1 and Wee Cammy having a battle, and also with Krogo and Reverend. Reverend. That's the correct name. So Ghost Angel 1 losing out massively, being overtaken by 3 cars, I believe. And okay, we have someone pitting onto the hards of all tires.
Going very early here, so he definitely wants to go the rest of the race. I'm wondering, I'm just going to check, did he get a wing change? Yes, he did. Everyone who's stopped as of yet has got a wing change, so none of the stops are strategy based, they're survival based. As Bailiff he's got a 3-second time penalty, as do a few drivers now. Matt Rowney, Ma aka Matt Rowney, Reverend Melvin, and further down Lucky, Harvey, Ruban and Ash all have penalties. So yeah, the tricky track limits of Jeddah proving taxing for these tier 4 drivers. As yeah, I'm just going to say we're seeing a big gap opening up. 2.9, it was just about 3 I think last lap, so Zenon staying with pace with Indian Jesus, but of course that battling has seemed to have cost him the earlier battling.
Yeah, and
Shaden, yeah, 2.3 behind.
Yeah, and Shaden was also very close to dropping Bailiff with outside of the 1 second there, so maybe Bailiff not having the best of races. Maybe has some wing damage, perhaps. We have a McLaren stopped on track, and that is Topher. Topher, another front wing gone for the McLaren team, so simulating the pace of the real-life McLaren. Except Shaden just...
It's probably still faster than him.
Okay, that was unnecessary. Alright then.
McLaren, but they're terrible, right now at least.
Yeah. Alright, so seems like the grid has calmed down just a tiny bit. But Bailiff, Moore and Shaden real close together, and we have another yellow flag, and that's still Topher, I believe, having a bit of a spin. But he's back on track, on his way to the pit lane to change his front wing. And now, yeah, okay, no, it's still Topher. I was just checking the minimap, and then I saw McLaren going straight into the wall. Alright. I want to check on Bailiff now. He is close to Shaden, and he will have the DRS.
Yep, he does have a DRS indeed.
And he has 60% more ERS than Shaden as well. But he was, or maybe he isn't too far back. Well, he is. Can he go for a switchback?
He's going for a switchback. Shaden looks like
Shaden loses.
Shaden gets a little snap on the exit, and Bailiff tacks the rear, but I don't think he's going to be able to get through.
Yeah, as soon as he hit his rear, his car just lost momentum there, and he couldn't do anything, unfortunately. And I think Bailiff has damage because he has massive understeer now.
He did tap the rear of Shaden.
Yeah, no visible damage from my end, but maybe he has some. Anyway. And Greg moved ahead of F1 Lucky there. We missed that battle, unfortunately. Yeah, 8 laps into the Grand Prix, and it has felt like an eternity for me.
Of course, yeah, lots of brilliant racing. As
Yeah,
Indian Jesus does lead by 3.2 seconds. Zen and Indian Jesus, indeed,
and now we have
as we
Maverick.
anticipated, are clear at the minute. Shaden struggling to keep up, and Bailiff, although he saved all of his ERS, I think surely he's got to go for a move now. Shaden is derating all the way in the last corner. Bailiff, I think, accidentally turns his ERS on for the last corner. That's not going to help him on traction, although he gets a decent exit. And now the ERS is on. The ERS is on. Shaden's
Oh,
using his, but surely it's not going to be enough defence. As Bailiff looks on the inside to get very close to making a collision there. It's much closer than necessary, it has to be said. But Bailiff takes the first apex, second apex, and gets up into P3.
and as you were talking about that battle, sorry, I kind of faded off and didn't spectate the most of it. I caught the end, so that's good. But meanwhile, as we were talking about that, we saw Krogo and Wee-Kami switch positions, and the Maverick pulling a very good round outside move on the long right-hander, this banked corner. So I was very impressed to see that happen. Now let's ride along with Shaden, because we all know he's hungry for that P3, and he is within the DRS still. So I think we're gonna see some positions switch up this lap or next lap if it's done on the end of the straight. But yeah, and we have a retirement in the pit lane.
Looks like it's the pit lane, yeah. Now Shaden is got the DRS on. He's using his ERS, of course. Bailiff has much more to play with. I think Bailiff, what he's going to do is he's going to let Shaden go, as Shaden does indeed go into P3, and then he's going to try and snatch back the DRS for the main straight and then try and get clear again.
A Charles Leclerc-esque defensive move there, and Bailiff gets him instantly back. It does help that Shaden has little to no ERS, while Bailiff has over half of his tank left, so, or battery. So.
Well over half his tank, yeah, it's just about 80%, which is a lot for this stage in the race, and Ash's car was probably a bit of a distraction for Bailiff there. Let's see how things are getting on. Of course, the gaps are fairly big apart from between Maverick and F1 Lucky. Let's see what's going on there. As they're going, Lucky's going down the inside, sorry if you were able to see that.
Yeah, I see that.
And Maverick got an absolute storm of an exit. They make a bit of contact. Maverick with the DRS. That is a lovely exit from the Greek driver, I believe. Commentated on him a fair few times in other leagues, and yeah, no, he's got a fair bit of racecraft about him. Does the AlphaTauri man?
Yeah. So
stuff from him.
He, as I mentioned it before, he had already pulled a move on F1 Lucky, but Lucky got it back, and Lucky hit the wall and has huge amounts of understeer, but I can't see any wing damage. But yeah, he definitely has wing damage. I can't see it for some reason. Lovely stuff, Codemasters.
Yep. And I'm not gonna see that if no car drives. No car drives that badly when they haven't got visible wing damage. As we just have to say, Indian Jesus is in the pits, so he's going for an undercut. Of course, he's going to have good pace on the mediums, but is he going to get caught in traffic? He needs a good escape, and there is a big train of cars coming up, led by Wee-Kami, who's done very well, might I add, to get into P6.
I think he will get ahead of.
I think, is he going to jump? This is all crucial for Indian Jesus.
He did get ahead of them.
Indian Jesus just gets ahead of him. That is absolutely crucial. Crucial for the German driver. That could be it. And what is even more crucial is that Zenon now has a 3-second penalty. So Indian Jesus in prime position. That is vital for him, because if he was about a second slower in the race and off the stop, he would probably be behind Kami right now, and that would be losing him a lot of time, as the British man is on old tyres.
And we have another retirement. That's F1 Lucky, who has crashed at the final corner. So maybe he had some contact with who was it now that it was fading? With Maverick. Yeah, that was the one.
Tell you what, Zenon and indeed Mar will be very unhappy that is not a safety car, because that really could have saved their races.
Yeah.
Just hopefully that gets a penalty.
The car is now away from the track, so green flag racing. and there's some position switching, but didn't. Yeah, well, never mind. Let's see then.
Zenon is in. See if Mar is already moving over to the left.
Scott
He
is
is in
about.
as well, yeah.
Scott is about to make a move on weak Cammy, but gets a poor exit on the final corner. That might open up. Oh no, actually they're all pitting. Never mind.
Chug stays out.
Yeah, so he wants that overcut, or maybe those fresher tires at the end. See what he.
Oh,
makes.
Zenon, and is his teammate going to let him through? Yes, he does. That's good
Great
teamwork.
teamwork.
And now might Chugs try and hold up Shaden? Oh no, I mean Shaden's 9.3 seconds behind. I don't know what I'm on about.
So
yeah, that's good teamwork from the Alpha Romeo boys.
Yeah, so Zeno not giving slipstream in qualifying, but Chugs letting him through in race.
Let's get you the better person is.
Yeah, gotta be the bigger man. Alright. Well.
Is he going to line up and move on Ghost Angel? I don't think he's able to. No, he's not.
Indian Jesus is 3.2 seconds ahead of Xenon. And Xenon, okay, at 3 seconds. And Xenon has a 3-second time penalty, so we can say that Indian Jesus is kind of chilling right now, driving his own race, putting in those laps, and nothing to worry about yet. It is still Jeddah, and there is gonna be most likely a safety car, so he has to be on his toes. Indian Jesus. Yeah. Omar and Ghost Angel 1 switching positions.
And Bailiff gets a cheeky move around the outside as well, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like Ghost Angel 1 pulled off to the side to let them both through. He knows it's not his race as he pits. And there is Bailiff moving ahead of Mar coming into the braking zone. So
super simple move for him, yeah.
Well done to him. And we have Krogo and Icecott also having some battles here, and there comes Chugs, and that's Icecott
straight in the wall.
Yeah, so Chugs exiting the pit lane and Scott driving right into him, it looked like, which sent him into the wall, but maybe Chugs also moved a bit to the right. And he definitely has front right end plate damage.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a look at the replay and it looked like Scott was just a little bit too close to him, to Chugs on the left. I'm not sure if we can make a verdict on that. It looked pretty close, but for me it seemed like a racing incident. But of course Scott won't be happy either way, as he has now lost any decent position he had in this race. He's in P11 with damage and he's going to have to stop again, most likely.
Yeah.
Oh, can I just say, Zenon has caught up to Indian Jesus by about a second. So now he's on tyres he hasn't rinsed in qualifying. He seems to have a little bit more pace in the German, which is interesting considering how dominant Indian Jesus was in qualifying. Maybe showing, maybe Zenon could have a bit more of a race-based setup.
It is
maybe
worth
just have a bit more consistency.
It is worth noting that Zenon has no ERS, so maybe he was pushing a lot more than Indian Jesus.
True.
As
yeah,
Indian Jesus had.
70%.
Yes, so maybe it's just that, but there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that Zenon can and actually has the pace to take the win today. Maybe the massive decrease in the gap can be explained by the ERS. Yeah, so Bailiff and Mar still within a second of each other. Mar not letting Bailiff pull away, which is crucial for him. Farrell and Icecott switch play. Oh no, that's just Icecott pitting. Never mind. We'll continue. I want to check Wuban, as he almost makes a move on Reverend and Reverend lets him by. So good for him. He is on 11 lap old softs, so he still has a pit stop to go. And it's now Bailiff and Mar. Mar will have the DRS and slipstream, and he has a pretty nice battery there with 65%. And he's using much of it on this straight when you should in theory just use it on the main straight, because then the your opponent won't have a straight to overtake you on, and that is more ahead of Bailiff. But then again, Bailiff will also come back at him next lap. So, yeah, it's kind of mind games here, and I see Shaden just wobbling about the track. I don't know what happened with him, but it looks like he has some understeer, maybe some wing damage.
Oh wow, yeah. No, actually I think he's okay. That was really weird. I mean, I was looking from Bailey's POV and I just see Shaden absolutely flying off sideways. I thought he'd put it in the wall, but seemed like a good save. Lost about a second on the lap, so yeah, not the worst consequence, but of course Mar and Bailiff are now both in his DRS, so he's going to have to push hard to try and avoid that. Of course, both drivers behind on at least the same, and in Mar's case more ERS than him, than Shaden, so yeah. And Zenin gets another penalty.
Which is only comforting Indian Jesus there. We saw the gap come down, but now we can have a little more breathing space. Or like calming moments, I don't know what to call it. Well, back to Shaden. Mar is in the DRS and he has 20% more ERS. So will he make the move? This is a great opportunity for him to break away from Bailiff, as Bailiff and Mar has had some battles all race long, it feels like. Maybe they haven't, I just getting my cars confused there. Well, Mar ahead of Shaden coming to turn 1, and now it's Bailiff's turn. Very close there, we both saw the braking.
Yeah, very late.
Very, very late indeed. Yeah. I don't know, it looks like every time I switch to another car, the car is just understeering. I don't know if that's just their setup, or if it's wing damage anymore. I seriously don't know.
I think setup is a big factor of it, of course. When you're running high
Shaden
fuel,
hits
there's
the
always
wall.
Shaden touches the wall. The customary shocked yelp from the crowd comes into play. I don't think he got damaged, as it was not on his front. But yeah, I think it's just the difficulty of driving Jelly in dirty air, especially, of course, we're driving what is now the old era of F1 cars, so following dirty air is certainly not easy, especially with high fuel and old tyres on your car. Also, it just comes down to driving technique, I think, being able to brake at the right points, and not to take anything away from the drivers, but it's certainly very difficult to do that over a race distance, especially at such a challenging track. But now, yeah, Shaden is just 5 tenths behind Mar, gets a bit of a shaky exit, a very shaky exit actually, and Bailiff's on his back. Is he going to deploy to try and get ahead? I don't think he is. Shaden's using his ERS now, yeah, and he's derating again. So Shaden, not one for management it seems, but certainly one for a decent bit of wolf race. But yeah, Mar stays ahead for now as Bailiff cuts across, and he gets very close to the back of him. That's a yellow flag, and I think that is well, it was it's Reverend Melvin taps the wall.
Yeah.
That was just at the end of sector 1. I think that might have been Greg's game centre.
Yeah, and Reverend, I think, is pitting. He maybe has wing damage, I'm not quite sure. We'll see if the AlphaTauri mechanics will bring a front wing for him. Yes, they are bringing out the front wing there, so that tap on the wall maybe gave him wing damage. 3 positions for the others, can't say no to that. And yeah, well, back to Bailiff and Shaden then. Mar has pulled away from the second gap, which leaves Bailiff and Shaden on their own there.
Spun.
That is
flag in sector 2, and Kami has binned it in a decent position. I think he was in P6. Also one of the only drivers without penalties in that top 10. It was just him and Indian Jesus. So yeah, that is a disaster for Kami, as he's really struggling to get the car turned around.
Did you remember Mavi Raguna fan F120 on F2 2019 there? Ian Baku just stood there for a few minutes and just tried to turn the car around.
Of course, he did have the natural car to do a 3-point turn, and Cammy has a controller and wing damage. Oh, and his tyres are really overheating. Although I assume you're not spectating him any longer.
No, I'm not. I am with Shaden because they are close. And
Yeah,
now
very
I'm
close, yeah.
Ghost Angel 1. And we Cammy who just switched position. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, we Cammy had damage. Alright then. Shaden and Bailiff, what can they deliver to us? We have 7 laps left, 8 if you count this one. So bunch of time, bunch of laps, bunch of straights to switch positions now. So it's all the mind games you have to play with your opponent. Who do you want to let them be ahead on the penultimate lap, or are you fine with being ahead and then take on the last lap? What do you think?
About positioning of well,
On the
when
penultimate
to
lap.
overtake and when not to. I think. Well, I think if you're in the right position, if you're going to try and stay behind on the penultimate lap or for the last lap, you really want to stay close, and following in this middle sector is very difficult. And speaking of overtaking, it looks like Bailiff, he was about a second down on Mar through the early stage of this lap. He's now going to get ahead, and Mar is derating as well. Bailiff closely running out of his ERS. But yeah, Bailiff takes the P3, and these guys, so from Bailiff to Krago, they all have the same amount of pens, so we shouldn't see any jumps with penalties at any stage of this race.
Heads off to Greg, Farrell, the Maverick, Wikami, and Indian Jesus. They're the only ones with no penalties.
Yep.
That's up to them.
Not an easy task here.
As it has proved multiple
I
times.
will add that Indian Jesus does have he picked up 2 warnings on lap 16. I was checking a bit earlier.
Wuban and Feral Fury battled, and that's Feral Fury getting spun round by Wuban. I think
see
that
what happened.
Yeah, well, it was Wuban putting his car on the inside, and Feral Fury already on the apex, not really having time to react. So that's unfortunate for Feral Fury. Yeah, Chugs and Shaden. Then that's Chugs backing out of the move, so maybe he wants to get the DRS. And he has the DRS because I think no, he does not have the DRS. Now Shaden has the DRS,
Shaden does, yeah.
and he pits. So maybe Shaden had some wing damage, and that's
Shaden
why.
damage.
Well, I would believe so because he dropped off massively. Yeah, there's a front wing ready for him in the pit.
I don't know how that happened, but that's unfortunate for Shaden. He was running so well in this race.
Yeah, he was indeed.
What's happened to Mark? Because he was with Bailiff and now he's lost about... Oh, wow, he looks like he's on the steering. I don't know if that's damage or not.
I believe him and Shaden maybe had something.
He's turning that wheel so much. I think he's got front wing damage.
Yeah,
I think it's minor
so.
because he's still able to keep the car as he loses a second in that first sector. So yeah, Ma is maybe going to struggle to the end with his damage. Of course, he hasn't got that much to lose if he does pit. Although I think he will lose a position to Chugs, Krago, and maybe even MUFC Harvey. But of course, Harvey has a absolute mountain of penalties, 15 seconds to be precise. So, but yeah, Ma will probably want to stay out and just see if he can defend against Chugs for the time being.
Yeah, as you were talking about the penalties, I got a question in the chat asking what are the pens. So, you covered that instantly. Well done. Didn't have to show, but I did. Yeah, alright. Let's see.
Hussein gets another. So yeah, he's really had the pace today, but unfortunately he hasn't had quite the quite the consistency that Indian Jesus has been able to have. Just 2 warnings on 1 lap, and that has been it. And right now it looks like a really straightforward win, unless of course he loses the car at any stage, as he's let through by Scott Gay in the house.
Yeah, and I must say that Zenon has really closed the gap up. So, and Indian Jesus has also used a lot of his CRS as well to try and stay ahead. So, yeah, even though Xenon has 9 seconds worth of penalties, I think he still wants to go for the moves to just show what he could have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, although Bailiff did qualify in P2, it's been a story of Indian Jesus and Zenon, two Ferrari power cars, showing success like they did yesterday. But I mean, those two have been utterly dominant, really.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, 20.7 seconds is an incredible margin, which is the difference between Zenon and Bailiff right now. So yeah, those two have really been on a different level. Rumour has it that the CRL tag gains you at least 3 seconds of pace, so maybe I might need to see that in my might need that in my name to get off the 3-point mark in Tier 1. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get to the real drivers. I'm just watching Indian Jesus absolutely fly through this first sector, so consistent.
Yellow flag. Greg.
Greg's game center, yeah.
And he just drives straight into the wall, trying to donut his car around, but he finally points his car in the right direction. He has front right end plate damage, but he is pointing the right direction at least. Mar and Chugs. Oh, what happened? Tell me.
Oh, I winced because Bailiff got a 6-second time penalty, but actually that's not really making a difference because he has more than a 6-second gap. As Mar actually hits, well, he gets a 6-second time penalty now. So even if he does overtake Tugs, which is very unlikely considering the damage that he definitely has, he would not be able. It was very unlikely that he'll be able to actually finish in front of him after penalties are calculated.
Yeah, and Farrell and Maverick switching positions. Farrell was ahead on the pit straight after making a move on the final corner, but then Maverick got the DRS back on him, so I gotta play strategically. Shaden about to pass MUFC Harvey. He's now on fresh soft, so he feels like he has unlimited grip, most likely, compared to those old mediums I think he was on. Yeah, he's still D-rating. He has a blinking light, but so is Harvey. So maybe.
You know what, mate?
Yeah.
I was just going to say that Zenon was, I think, just about on the 1 second bubble, and I'm really interested to see if he can find this pace for the middle sector and maybe go for a move on the last lap, although he has struggled through there a bit. They're trading time very much, these guys, although actually, yeah, it looks like Zenon is going to get into that DRS. Maybe he's going to try and win this on track. It will be for pride, because I really doubt he's going to be able to get these penalties removed.
Yeah.
It seems impossible, really, but he's got some really nice pace here. Taking his corners really in his stride. If he has a good first sector, well, yeah, maybe he can get into the DRS for the next lap. He's certainly not going to be into this lap. Just 1.2 seconds separating the two drivers now.
I just hope that they won't have an incident, because you know who would want that in the final 2 laps. We have Shaden spinning, I think. No, it's not. It's Topher again.
Harvey overtook Shaden, and then there was Topher who spun. So yeah, Greg's game center and Topher haven't had good days today for sure. As Zan is inside that 1 second gap.
Ooh, spicy. So we got 2 more laps, including this one, or the rest of this one, I should say.
He's in the DRS.
Well, within a second.
Has just got damage? He was understeering like crazy there.
No visible damage for me, at least.
Bro, surely. It looked like he really understeered into there. Took it in second gear, I think. Let's see his driving through here. I think it's okay, actually.
It's kind of normal.
He just understeered a lot, yeah. Although Zenon is gaining a lot of time. And he looks like he's going to be able to get this on track if he can just keep it hooked up.
Maybe just Indian Jesus doesn't want to risk anything. If Xenon has the pace, let him go through. Topher has retired in the Pit lane.
He's going to drop off there, but now he does have DRS. For the last lap, as they come into the final corner for the penultimate time, sorry. And Zevin is going to get the ERS on, and he is going to go for it here, I think. Indian Jesus D rating as well. Is Zevin going to go down the inside here? It's going to be a late move if he does.
He goes for it.
Oh,
down the inside, way
that's,
too late.
It's a Max Verstappen-esque move. He somehow kept it.
Yeah,
and
I mean...
and Indian Jesus struggling as well on traction. He needs to be super careful so as not to lose the car here, because that would be devastating. It's a very late move from Zenon, because I know who doesn't play with a racing line.
Yeah. And for me, Zenon went way off track and just entered very dangerously. He just cut across the track, which made Indian Jesus he had to brake a bit for him.
Yeah, he did.
So he's still taking it cautious. He knows he's got the victory, so maybe not too much harm done there. But yeah, Zenon on track winner. But then again, he wasn't on track for much with those 9 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, he's coming through the last stages of corners now, flat out. Goes down to the final corner of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. No safety car, surprisingly. Few DNFs. It's been a good race today in Tier 4. The two dominant drivers have been Zenon and Indian Jesus, and Zenon is going to take the victory on track. But it is going to be the German man, Indian Jesus, dominant in qualifying, and he wins the race with no penalties by 7 seconds in the end. Wow. Great job to the man, and these two have been on a different level today. Late move from Zenon in the last lap got him that place on track. Indian Jesus just cruised to the end knowing that he was safe, and that is an excellent win. And Bailiff is coming now to finish on that final spot on the podium. Do you want to get some interviews done? If you want, I can add these guys to the party.
I have... it's fine, we can invite them.
Yeah, okay.
They'd like to... You can invite them. I'll just type in the chat to congratulate them on their podium victories, etc.
Great drives, for certain. Right, they are added.
I don't know about you, but I feel kinda tired. I don't know. Every time I commentate.
Did you finish the stream?
No, I haven't. I'm still live.
No, it is very tiring. I think Bailiff is joining now. Yeah, it's and here he is. We'll just try and wait for the other two to get in. But yeah, of course, draining race. Watching these guys go back and forth for laps on end. Well, yeah, in the end, it was actually a pretty clean one. Really decent race for the division. Yeah, great to see, and some very good racing in parts there as well.
Yeah, I made some jokes in the chat, like that there's gonna be a huge crash and whatever, but these guys proved me wrong today, and that's amazing to have that. Did you hear the voice crack? No, good.
Don't worry about it.
That's amazing. Alright then, let's go through the grid order. Indian Jesus P1, Xenon P2, Bailiff P3, Chugs P4, Mar P5, Krago P6, Shaden Fastest Lap 130.6 P7, Wuban P8, Weekami P9, MUFC Harvey P10, Ghost Angel 1 P11, The Maverick P12, Reverend P13, Feral Fury P14, I Scott Gay P15, Greg's Game Center P16, Topher and F1 Lucky Ash JW CRL Freefall, all with retirements. So yeah, that was the grid. Well, as the game will let me into the showroom, we can start our interviews. Indian Jesus, welcome to the commentary booth. Let us know how you felt out there today.
Hey guys, so it's been a tough race. Zenon was on my back the entire time, and I wasn't entirely happy with the performance I put out there. I lost P1 on track, which is always a shame, but in the end I'm happy, going out with 40 points other days, and hopefully closing the gap to Bailiff.
Congratulations, looked like a very nice race. Especially the qualifying was amazing. We said you should be like in Division 2 or Division 1.
Nah. I gotta say my quali pace was really good, and I felt really strong about my qualifying. But my setup was, tailored toward qualifying. And at the same time, you saw in the race, I was just barely ahead of Zenon, and I lost the position to Zenon, who is a tier 4 driver. So I think I belong here because I'm not consistent enough.
I think I have to add, you managed your ERS very well in the race, but yeah, it didn't seem like you quite had the edge you did in qualifying. I mean, we watched that lap all the way through; it was beautiful. So well done for that. But did you feel like, were you consciously just not using the ERS, or did you just want to were you just sort of driving and not thinking about it because you had such a gap?
Yeah. So what I was thinking about at first was, shit, I messed up this start. Because I lost the position to Bailiff, and then there was a huge mess at the start, and I dropped to P4, P3, I think, in the beginning, which was really bad. And once I got back to the front, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to mess up. I'm not going to hit the wall. I'm not going to get penalties. Anything else doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep it clean. So I just try to keep it clean, and, ERS was secondary to me. And, I had the ERS to defend to Zenon for the majority of the race, but in the end, he got me because his race pace was amazing, I gotta say. So big ups, Zenon. Really good job today.
I have to ask, what were your thoughts on that last lap move? Because I was on board with Zenon, and it was incredibly late. Got it pulled off as well, Max Verstappen-esque. Were you? I saw you saying in the chat you were a bit scared. What was your thought process then?
Yeah, so I was thinking I don't want to lose this P1 on track, but when I saw that move, I was like, okay, I'm not going to fight this. There's no point. I've won this race already. There's 9 seconds worth of penalties on his name. So, I wasn't happy with it, not going to lie, because I think there was no reason for him to go for that move, because he was clearly not going to win this race. And, it was very late, and it was kind of dangerous, but, it's racing, and it happens.
Yeah.
Ooh, tensions in the party then. Well, thanks for that interview, bro.
Thank you.
Racer, driver, yeah. Alright, no, not Indian Jesus again. Xenon. Yeah. Well, can you give us your version of these comments just that Indian Jesus just made?
Well, that whole race was, to me, it was great. It was great racing all around. No big incidents from what I saw apart from a few people retiring. My last lap at the end, my last lunge at the end was purely just, I thought I'd be able to pull that 9 seconds out, because I realised I pulled 2 seconds out over one lap, but obviously I kind of regret that now.
Yeah. I have to ask, how did you get so many penalties? Like,
it was all just me. Obviously, you might have seen I used I used all my ERS throughout the race, and
yeah, we did. We saw
I
that.
used obviously all of that trying to catch up. When I had 3 seconds, so I could potentially try and get 3 seconds ahead, which gave me 6. I tried to do the same. When I got to 9, I kind of just gave up. Yeah, I did get one warning with the 9, but luckily I kept it as 9 and not anymore, otherwise I would have lost to P3. That was about 17 seconds at the end.
alright, so, yeah. Well, still a good race from you. You moved up one position from your starting one. And Bailiff says that he is back to me in Discord, so are you in here, Bailiff?
Can I just ask one question to Zenon really quickly?
Yeah.
So, I noticed you're on the pad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how are you so quick here? For a start, do you think is this like a track you specialize in, a track you've done a lot? Because honestly, I'm in Div 1, and I genuinely don't think I could match your pace.
Well, personally, this track is probably one of my favourites. It's obviously not a pad track being very tight, but I do like tight tracks, just not Monaco, so yeah.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Cammy before the race, and he said, "Can I use your setup?" And I went, "No, it's a golden setup. It's the perfect setup for this
Drop
track."
that to me.
Can I have it, please?
I want that as well.
I need to speak anyway. I'll message you after race, so you can set me up after. It's all good. Yeah. Rotation. You got any questions for our third place man, Mr. Bailiff? Then.
No real questions. Just like, how was your race? How did you feel? Like the usual.
Yeah. First of all, I know the lad wasn't present in the race. I just want to say, I know you're watching in hospital, dude. Hope you're all right. I'll be there soon. But yeah, qualifying, I didn't expect anything of what. I haven't done much practice around here, so I thought I'd use my setup that I used in Hedges League a few weeks ago and just boxed it onto the front row like. But yeah, race pace wasn't very particular. I was expecting to be a lot further down. I just got lucky, really. I think with the battles going on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you got lucky. I'd say your fighting with Shaden was really good to see. Pretty careful racing. Did you feel like you were given enough respect there? And also, did you think you could get away with him? Did you think you were toying with him? Or were you two on pace?
I did notice that I did get a few little taps up the arse, like, so I was like, oh, come on. But no, my goal wasn't, knowing that, don't say it's the wrong way, Indian, but I know he can't get off the line at the moment, so I thought I'm going to have to just get underneath him, and that's what I did at the start of the race. Otherwise he would have just cleared off. But then stuck in a battle with Shaden and Matt Rowney, knowing that Zenon and the Indian aren't at the top of the championship at the moment, I thought, right, let them go and just stay ahead of Matt Rowney, and that was the plan, and that's what I stuck to. So
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. It's definitely a situation of well, apart from unless you're Zenon, I feel like at Jeddah when you're on the pad, if you're normal, it's just a case of damage limitation, and you certainly showed us how to do that as well. I mean, you obviously weren't on pace. How did you lose the 20 seconds? Because ultimately, like at the end, it didn't really look like you were losing time. I think at first, maybe with the fights with Shaden, but was there any point where you really lost like a whole chunk of time? Because I didn't think you were 20 seconds slower than the guys up top over a race.
I actually had wing damage in the pit stop. My front wing was changed. I didn't actually know I had wing damage, but when I clicked through the damage while coming to the pits, I noticed that I had a wing, and I thought, this is why I can't. The front end just wasn't turning, so I was having to hold the throttle off before I could even get on it. Like so.
Yeah, that explains it. I was also thinking the same as Mr. BT here. Like you weren't that much slower. I think you also had the most amount of battling this race. Like whenever I switched over to you, we were always in a battle. So, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I do enjoy a few battles. You just got to try and keep it as clean as possible. But sometimes it's just unavoidable. A little nick here and a little nick there. But I'm sure Shaden and Matt Rowney will agree it was a good battle between us all. Like so, and I'm sure Jesus will say like at the start of the race we were keeping it as clean as possible. Like so.
It looked great. Really looked interesting. And yeah, it was a lot of respect, which was really encouraging to see from some of the leading guys in the championship. So yeah, that was well done to all of you three. I think rotation. Are we gonna wrap up here then, mate?
I hope so. I'm so tired. All right then. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in today. Thanks to the drivers for showing up in the commentary booth, as many usually don't. And I've been FRL Rotation. I've been joined by Mr. BT today. We'll see you guys. No, not next week. There's a break week. Isn't there?
There
Yes.
is a break week, so in 2 weeks' time for
So
for
in
the next edition of Tier 4 in Austria, I believe.
Yeah,
So-
and also thank you to you guys for commentating. Great job.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
pleasure.
you got it.
Absolute pleasure.
We're too goated.
And see you in Austria, guys.
Yeah, see you guys next time we see. I don't know. So yeah, bye.